always disappointed on senior night when you don't get a win, because I think the framed jerseys, the flowers, the parents on the court, the applause that people are so kind in giving seniors is terrific and well deserved. But I think a senior would say, I want to go out feeling like a champion that particular night. So I'm disappointed that I was not able to deliver for those seniors, not just the players, but those managers who have, and I don't mean this personally, but for my 3 years have been a pleasure for this staff to work with those guys. And so that's the one that will keep me up. Did I do enough for that particular group of seniors? As for the basketball, something that hadn't been happening to us, had happened earlier in the year, but hadn't been happening to us recently, is we didn't guard the ball. We never got our feet, and our feet did not allow our chest to be in front of the ball. And I thought that they played terrific offense, which we knew. They're the leading scoring team in the Big Ten, fourth in the country. We never walled the ball off, and we were always playing on the side. We wanted to use zone, and when you get blitzed early, sometimes you're like, oh, I can't afford to give up a three, and now something will happen. But we stayed with it. It was part of the plan. It wasn't a desperation move. And there were two different kinds of zones that we used that managed to crawl back, but we never really got contact. There was never really game pressure. So again, the players in preparation, the staff in preparation, we all go back and look in the mirror and say, what more could I do? What more can I do? And we must be better tomorrow, Saturday, and then play on the road Sunday.
Steve? You mentioned the disappointment on senior night not winning, but could you touch on what Eli did in this game, and maybe something that, if not tonight, recently you've had a chance to share with his parents about your thoughts on him?
Well, with Eli, I think that he's a champion. You know, the wins record here and the Final Four and the Sweet 16s and all that stuff, but he's just a champion. He brings a championship mentality to everything that he does, whether it's in the weight room, if he's getting extra shots, his approach to understanding not just where his four guys are supposed to be, but he knows where the five guys on the other team are supposed to be. And as it was his grandfather and his mother, as they were walking across the court, I thought back to him as a ninth grader, walking down the hallway at my office at St. Joe's. And I said that to his mother on the court. Who would ever thought this? That here I am on the last home night. He's got a lot more games to play. But I don't think that Eli's legacy or mark on this program is the wins, 1,000 points, what this or that. I think it's the fact that he's the epitome of a captain. And I know that I speak for Juwan in saying, over these 2 years, when Juwan gave him that captainship last year, we're better for having Eli in our lives and in this program.
What do you think Eli will be doing 5 or 10 years from now?
He will be debating philosophically something. Could be basketball, could be hopefully a better world. But he'll be, I don't know how much money you can make in philosophy, but he will be a thought leader wherever he is.
Andrew?
So obviously the win-loss thing continued. I know you said after the last one you'd be maybe a little harder on them in practice. Is there anything you can put your finger on for the letdown, or is it just a matchup thing or whatever?
I think that at this point in the year, it's well established that Eli is the leader. But at this point in the year, you need some followers to step up, right? You can follow for a long time, but when somebody turns around and says, I need you, and it could be lead on the bus going to Ohio State, it could be lead in, hey, did you look at your film on your iPad? We still have a really nice group of people in that room. I'm not sure that we have a hellraiser in the room. And if going into Sunday that has to be myself and Howard and Sadi, then that's what we'll do. But we have to have emotional commitment to the game. And calling it the way it is, we didn't have emotional commitment to start the game. And sometimes you say, well, you know, you want to write, I'll write the excuses for you, and then they can repeat them if they want. Senior night, that's emotional. Late game, that's all those kind of things. But we didn't have it, and whether it's too much, like too much, the success was too much the other night. I don't know. I am one that sees each day as a separate entity. And in this program, you're asked to bring everything that you have for whatever we ask you to do. And we weren't 1% better than we were on Tuesday. But now we're getting to the point in the year, and that's what I just shared with them. We're getting to the point in the year where, and I'm not a must-win guy until the last game of the year, but like we can't continue this pattern, or we'll be coming home real early in March, and none of us want that.
So there were points this season where the guys thought that the corner was starting to be turned. I remember at Indiana, at Illinois, and then there's been some good performances, Purdue and things like that. I guess if the team continues in this pattern and the corner is never turned, what does that mean about this group of guys?
Means that they're a group of nice young guys. Nice being emphatic and young being emphatic. And I'm not talking about age. There's an emotional age that we need to increase across the board quickly.
Phil, some of the looks they were able to get from three, was that just not being able to get the defense set, or some mental mistakes? What did you see on some of those?
No, it was sometimes you could have a miscommunication where I say blue, you say red. That's a miscommunication. And then you could have missed communications. We missed communications a number of times in the first half.
Anybody else?
The Big Ten this year happens to be a league that has a lot of really good foremen, whether it's Keegan or Liddell or whatever. And Musa happens to be a freshman in a year where there are some really good foremen. How big of a challenge is that for him? And, you know, I guess what does it mean if you don't have an experienced foreman in a time where there's some really good ones in this league?
What it means is you're 10-9. And I don't mean that as smart aleck. You make a great point. It is a really, really, really great position. you know, across the board. You rattled off some names, and, you know, like if this was poker, I'd say, okay, well, what about Ron Harper? What position does he play? And what position does that guy play? And, you know, you want to say baptism by fire, then it's baptism by fire. But tonight, particularly with Keegan Murray, and let's not shortchange his brother, but that was a challenge. So what you can hope for is that Busa recognized it, realized it, and he'll be better Sunday if Liddell ends up being his matchup.
Anybody have anything else? Okay, Coach.
If I could just over this past week, just thank you for the way you've handled the players, not putting them in, you know, tough spots, and thank you for being so cooperative with me. Really appreciate it.